everybody? It's April Dawn. Let's talk about it. This is Live, Work, Pose, Season 2, Episode 6. This episode was basically about Pray Tell. The whole thing was about him, so let's go ahead and get into it. So we start off at the ball. Pray Tell is doing his usual announcing. He's, giving us all the shade, all the, jokes, and we can tell that he's sweating a lot. He's sweating profusely. As he's going along, he starts to get, even more and more sweaty, so I'm starting to look a little worried for him. But he makes the announcement about the AIDS gala that's going to happen at the hospital, and as he's doing this, Blanca turns back and he has fallen out, child. He done fell down to the stage. She screams for somebody to call the ambulance so they can take him to the hospital. So we see Nurse. Now, what's her name? Judy? Becky? Jackie? I've been calling her Judy, but is that right? Is it another name? Because I want to say I saw a video of somebody else called her something else. She tells him that his platelets are low and he has bruising all over his body. The doctor tells him that it's probably due to the AZT. He would normally say it was complications due to AIDS, HIV, because we don't know if he has AIDS yet or HIV. I think the doctor said HIV if I'm not mistaken. But he said because it's happening so fast that it's probably due to the AZT and they have to take him off the AZT and it's going to take his body they're going to keep him on observation for a week because it takes some days for the medicine to get worked out of your body. This obviously makes him very upset, and Blanca feels horrible because she's the one, her and Nurse Judy, who got him on it, right? So she feels really bad about it, and they giving him all this pep talks, and he like, listen, I just want to have a temper tantrum. I just want to throw a temper tantrum for a second. Like, can I do that? And so they all leave and he kind of, sulks. We go into this Scrooge-like episode because he gets several visits throughout his time in different hallucinations, dreams, whatever you want to call them. We first see that he's in the hospital room with this man who is clearly educated man, well-astute man. He's asking him, hey, do I know you? He was like, oh, I don't think you know me. I might have been at such and such place or whatever place. But, he's not on the ballroom scene. He was like, oh, you are educated queen. And he was like, I am an educated black man. I am not a queen. So, even in the hospital, you facing people who still can't deal with what they are. He don't identify as a queen. That's not something he says. So he still got a little respectability politics or whatever going on in the hospital, right? So I ain't appreciate that shit. I was like, you doing the most, and you half dead already, so the least you could do is be nice to the people that's in the room with you with your ignorant ass. First visit he gets is from Candy. So Candy is apparently his angel of death or whatever. She wants him to kill himself, but she, goes on to tell us, it was good to see her, first of all. She goes on to tell us how she's having the time of her life. She's about to have, deals with, or dinner with Liberace, and then she's going to do a photo shoot with such and such a person, and she wanted to be in heaven with people who understood her, because heaven is what you make it, and he'll find that out. And so he's like, what do you mean all those people had AIDS? And she was like, and he was like, Candy, was you sick, girl? And she was like, I didn't want to tell nobody I was sick, because people treat you different when they know that you're sick. But I was always very careful with my tricks. I used the condoms. There was no exceptions every time. And I don't know if y'all done seen, the old HBO specials with the whole hookers at the point. Them hookers be using, they use condoms. I mean, even when they give head, they use condoms or whatever. So a lot of them are very well protected, even though they, the hygiene obviously ain't up to par, right? Because they out there on the streets. But it wasn't like they was just raw dogging it with everybody out there in the streets or whatever. So she's telling him, you can come with me. I'm offering you this deal. She put some pills in his hand, tell him he'll just float away and he'll be, at lunch or riding a bike in the park with whoever. And he throws the pills down and tell her no. He don't want to. And so he stands up out of the bed, or no, he wakes up or something happens. I can't remember, but he wakes up out of that delusion. And his father is sitting on the bed right next to him. And so apparently we find out through this scene that his father molested him, and he basically groomed him from the time he was 12. He says, you was playing footsie with me under the table when I was 12 years old. You told me you loved me, right? So his father came into his room and, slept with him. And the father's like, oh, you seduced me. It's almost some precious type shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you seduced me and all of this. And he was like, I was a child. First of all, no child could ever seduce no grown person. Number one, sir. Number two, sir, you a child molester. And he's like, oh, why do we always have to argue when we see each other? The only time we didn't argue was when at my funeral, you didn't say one word. And so he's having this conversation with his father to forgive his father, right? So he's like, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you. And after he says, I forgive you so many times, he wakes up. That scene was very touching to me. It's confusing for a child, you know, you think somebody love you, they telling you they love you. And, you know, I was watching something on TV and somebody tell me this, and it's not necessarily for homosexual people. It was just for, you know, child molesters in general. When the child is like an adolescent, 12, 13, 14 years old, they start to, you know, your body starts to change. Your sex is starting to get set up. You know what I mean? So it's like they have confusion because some of the things that is happening to them, it feels good. So it confuses the child when they tell them, I love you. They doing these things that are hurtful to you. But some of the things they might do might arouse you or might feel good to you. I know that sounds really crazy, y'all, but you know, in an adolescent child, when a psychologist explained it, it makes a lot of sense. Now, I'm not saying that's the reason why he's gay or anything like that. I can't speak to that. But what I can say is that his daddy is a child molester, and he should have been put under the damn jail, in my opinion. But he forgives his father, and he wakes up from that dream. Side note, which was another lesson that Candy low-key taught him. Remember, she said, I can't move on, or I can't live this life the way people be betraying you if I don't learn how to forgive people. So he did forgive his father. Third visit, my most favorite visit, okay, was from his boyfriend. If y'all don't remember, his boyfriend died in season 1. I don't remember his name, but he passed away in season 1. So he kind of comes back to him like, you're not going to be going nowhere with these sour pussies, okay? Let me go ahead and get you together, baby. So he tells him to go out and perform at the cabaret because hundreds of men have died in this hospital, and you know they're waiting on you. They're waiting for you to perform. So he comes out in this fabulous tuxedo, honey, with the train, with like some, you know, look like some lanterns and shit you get off Amazon. You know, them hoes light up and they at the end of the train. Whatever was at the end of the train, it was fabulous. And I just love the way he like turned. Like the man knows how to walk in a dress. He knows how to walk in a train. You feel me? Like I was here for it. He gave us Broadway. If you don't know Billy Porter or anything about Billy Porter before Pose, he was a very big hit on Broadway with the show Kinky Boots. It was all the rave on Broadway. Everybody loved it. It's about, if you haven't seen the movie, there's a movie that they made it with some really pasty white people, but I mean, it is British, so you know. But it's basically about this man's son who owned a shoe business, and the shoe business was about to go out of business, you know, and they were having a lot of problems with it because they wasn't selling the shoes. And then they started to manufacture shoes for like bigger feeted men, you know, women, female impersonators and things like that, drag queens. So the shoes were bigger. So they were making all these different types of boots, hence the word kinky boots or whatever. So it's like how people can come together and see past, you know, certain things, labels and sites, all that shit. So like, he's a fabulous singer, he's a great performer, and he sang a song. I don't know what song it was. I tried to look for it on my phone. Siri couldn't tell me what song it was, but if you know what song it was, please put it in the comments, because I would love to add it to my playlist. I love me a good Broadway tune, okay? He gave it to the people, honey. He walked around, he touched faces, honey. He connected with the people. Yes, he touched them like Beyonce, like the queen. He was just touching, okay? I was like, you better touch these people on their face and tickle their nose, nigga, do it. Okay, so he was walking around here touching people like Diana Ross, giving it to us. He gave us song. He gave it. I loved it. And I was 100% here for it. So he wakes up from that delusion like, oh my gosh, I hope I've entertained you. He should win an Emmy just for that scene. If he's not nominated for an Emmy, something is wrong with the world, okay? We see Blanca at home. Blanca's upset about this whole process that's going on because she has to take over, you know, organizing the cabaret that's going to happen. Her and Nurse Judy, Jackie, okay? Her. And all the kids in the house, they're making too much damn noise. So she went up in there and she told them, y'all need to be quiet. Maybe y'all need to clean up. You know, I'm trying to do this thing. I'm dyslexic. You know, I'm having a problem with this. When Poppy was like... When Poppy was like, I'm sorry about your dyslexia, that shit was so funny to me. I don't know why. When they leave out the room, she's really upset and Angel comforts her because she feels guilty because she wanted him to take the AZT. And Angel's like, listen, you have to do what you have to do, sis. Like, you know, this is the only drug that's out there. So apparently, remember in this past video, I asked the question, did AZT work for some people? Did it not work for other people? Apparently, that's the case because she's taking the AZT and she's responding positively to it. But he's taking the AZT and he is not responding positive. So apparently it works for some people and it might have terrible adverse effects on other people or whatever. So she feels very guilty about that, and if he dies, his blood is on her hand. And you know, Angel's just reassuring her, girl, like, it's gonna be all right. You did what you had to do. He gonna be okay. So the day of the ball, we find out that ain't nothing wrong with Pray Tell ass. He gonna be all right. He gonna be out the hospital the day after tomorrow. And Blanca's like, get your stuff together. We need to go ahead and get this ball together, honey. Put your clothes on. And he's like, I'm not going anywhere. I can sit right here. And she like, boy, get your ass up. We finna go and do this doggone thing. Let's go do it. She goes down there and the ball gets started. Nurse Judy starts to sing first. Her song something about sometime it snow in April. The song was beautiful, okay? And I know that's the song. Somebody put the song in the comment. I don't know what the name of the song is, but it was absolutely beautiful. But I have a question about these three people singing in the back. First of all, you know what? Never mind. We just gonna keep on going. Oh, I forgot to say, at the beginning of the episode, we see Blanca in her nail shop and homegirl shows up. Now, this is Patty LuPone. This is Patty LuPone, who is also another famous Broadway actress. If you don't know who Patty LuPone is, she's a legend and an icon, okay? So go look her up. I didn't even realize that was her until we got to the singing. Duh, girl, that's Patty LuPone. So anyway, her name is Frederica. We find that out too. Her name is Frederica. So Frederica shows up at the nail salon. She sees the flyer outside and she's telling Blanca, hey, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, you gonna lose business getting yourself involved with this, all of this. You know what I mean? And she's like, listen, our community stands up for each other. And she was like, it's not like I haven't been affected by this disease too. It affects everyone. She said her cousin died, her hairstylist died, and everybody knew what it was, blah, 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 blah. So she invites her to the thing. Oh, so invites her to the cabaret. So Frederica has shown up to the cabaret. She's like, oh, are you surprised I'm here? Oh, I'm here to give my donation in person. You know, everything. She's like, I might sing a song and everything. So anywho, next performer was Electra, and Electra was a hot ass mess. First of all, a mess. Okay, from the beginning to the end, a whole ass mess. I said, why? Why, Lord, would y'all put this lady up here doing this? You can tell it was cute. It was supposed to be novelty. It was supposed to be funny. But y'all, when she took that big ass breath at the end, like, it was just terrible. And they were like,
yes, mother. Yes, serve it. How's the Winter, Evangel, Lisa.
and they was like, hey, Nurse Judy was like, hey, cut that shit out. You know what I'm saying? You ain't at the ballroom. Don't be out here acting all niggerish. We in the white people building. Don't be acting like this. After that, we had Miss Patty LuPone. She got up there, and baby, when I tell you, I was like, you sing, you hateful hoe. You sing, you evil, racist, homophobic bitch. You better sing. I can't stand her ass. I ain't never loved and hated somebody so fast, child, as I loved and hated this hoe in 5 minutes. You hear me? So she got up there and she sang down, okay? I said, girl, you better give it to us. You a financier, honey. Serving rich white woman. Give it. Yeah. You better give us all the vibrato. She took some vibrato from Liza Minnelli, from Jennifer Holliday. She took all the vibratos, honey, and was like, whoop, I'm here. I said, girl, you better do it. She sang her song, then she gave Blanca this big donation. We don't know how much money it was, but she gave her a good donation. And then Blanca's like, oh, I must have unfairly judged you, you know. Maybe you a nice person, or maybe you have a heart, da, 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 da. And she's like, oh, you know, you should never underestimate a New York girl. Now, she goes around the corner and makes a phone call, and her son is out there boarding up the nail shop, locking the doors. Because, you know, basically Blanca is like a squatter at this point or whatever. She would be considered a squatter because the lady has put her out, but there's no contract. So, you know, if she get out of there and she can lock them doors, then she good or whatever. Like, she can't get back in. So, we was like, I said, you dirty bitch, you dirty hoe. You dirty hoe. Just that quick. All right? Dirty. Low down. Let me tell you. Next performance was Blanca. Blanca does a great performance. Her and then Pray Tell comes on out the back and he does a performance too. The song they sang was fantastic. It was beautiful. I didn't really like the let's break it down part at the end. I ain't really like all of that. And I felt like, no tea, no shade. This is not to be offensive to nobody. But it threw me off when Blanca started singing and a man voice come out. I think that the character was trying to like, or the actor was trying to like maybe lighten their voice up to make it sound feminine. But once you get into singing and all of that, like she sounded like a man. It just threw me off. Like I didn't think it was unpleasant or anything. It it just threw me off. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean with the three singers in the back, like Lulu, and they sound like Shy. Okay, like they sounded like Boys to Men in the back. That's why I was just like, it had threw me off for a second. But I'm not against it. I don't have nothing negative to say about it, but it did throw me off cognitively, okay? The song was beautiful, though. They sounded wonderful. They sounded amazing. So after all that is over and the ball is wrapping up, Frederica is talking to Blanca, and she's asking her, did she get this event together? And she would love to pick her brain and, you know, go out to dinner. And so they decided to go out to dinner. And there's 2 more additional hours they had to close up everything. Now, what I feel like a scene was edited out, and I feel like they had a scene with them at dinner, and maybe they just decided not to put that in the show, because we just cut to the next day when she shows up at the shop. The shop is closed down, and she pissed off, right? So she goes home. She tells everybody about what happened. And Pray Tell is like, well, what you gonna do? She's like, well, I filed a lawsuit, you know, with the discrimination, whatever board, such and such of New York City, and that she's going to protest. She learned something from the Act Up. They're gonna get together every morning. They're gonna go out there. They're gonna protest this shit. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna, you know, get their shot back open, because she don't want to be on the news, and that's a smart move. So that's what they decide to do. They get up, they're going out there the next day, and little to her knowledge, you know, Pray Tell has recruited everybody. Even Electra came on out for the protest, because she said her outfit needs to be on the TV screens. Okay, so she needs to be out here in the public, baby. So they out here, you know, they protesting. Homegirl roll up in the car, and she like, damn, I just don't want Blanca to turn up stinking nowhere, okay? Because she is messing around with the Italians and the mob low-key, okay? So I just want her to be mindful and be careful. It would be kind of stupid for her to show up dead, because that would even make more of a stink, especially for this woman. The controversy is going to lead right to her. So that would be kind of dumb. But it's the mob. They have connection with the police. Blanca's a transgender woman. You know they don't be caring about them transgender people. So I'm just saying, like, you know, I just want her to be safe and think about her safety as well, you know, because not like they got a whole lot of shit that's going to protect them, right? And so at the end of the show, we see Pray Tell. He's going back to his house now, and he's getting ready for bed. And as he's getting ready for bed, Candy comes to him again, and he like, bitch, I ain't having no hallucinations no more. You done going about your business. She's like, listen, I'm gonna be with you forever. I'm finna haunt your ass to the end of days, okay? I'm about to be with you forever and ever and ever. We gonna be together, and I'm gonna be here reminding you every night that you can just come on and join me. You can leave all this pain behind. So it's like, I think that was saying to us as a viewer is that just because he got over this one hump, you know, and it was one bad thing that happened, that death is still looming in the background. Like, he has HIV and he will die, maybe. You know, like I said, this is the beginning of the 90s. So in the early 90s, there were coming up, you know, some new medicines was coming, and, you know, things were progressing where people weren't dying at as a fast a rate as in the 80s. But still, you know, he in there right in that crux, that little space where he could still pass very quickly. So it's always there. Death is always there in your corner. And she's just like, you know, you can come with me, you can be free, and I'll be here to remind you. And he was like, you keep on hunting me, because I'll tell you every night that it's not my time. And the light just goes off and the show goes off. So this week, this is the reason why this show is nominated for so many Emmys. The music in this show was phenomenal. The costumes were phenomenal, okay? The acting is phenomenal. The only criticism I have is sometimes the show gets a little disjointed as far as cohesiveness, but I blame that on editing. I don't blame that on the directors or the actor. I blame that on the editing, because I did want to see them go to dinner, or at least them walk into the restaurant, sit at the table, and, you know, then we could have faded away to the next day. But it was like, oh, we're going to dinner. Cut. It's closed. That bitch. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, okay, editors, I'm going to need y'all to do better with that. But other than that, this show is an excellent show. This is why the show got nominated. If Billy Porter don't win no Emmy, I know something. You hear me? Like, it's time to start a letter writing campaign. This show was great. Like, awesome. I want to hear your thoughts about this show as well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will be going back to work, not next week, the week after next, on August the 6th. So I will be trying to get the videos out as frequent to you as I can and on time as I can, but it won't be like it is now, more than likely. I don't know what my schedule is going to look like, if I will have free time, you know, all that kind of stuff, teacher stuff. Let me know what you think. If you want to follow me on social media, you can at watch Dawn of A on Instagram and on Snapchat. I do a lot of things in my personal life that you guys, some of y'all already know about. I got a whole playlist on my page of me singing. I'm a singer and I'm an actress, and around the city of Houston and other places as well. So if you would like to check out what I do in my life, you know, behind the scenes, plus I always put when I have my videos up, you can follow me on there too. I'm a little bald-headed over there, so come on in and follow me. We growing slowly. Slowly but surely, we are growing over on my channel. So I want you guys to have a blessed week. Remember to be yourself. If this show hasn't taught you anything, be true to yourself, because being true to yourself will take you further than being fake will ever take you. Be true to yourself. Yeah, be a good person and good will come to you. Y'all be blessed. Peace.